All right, I'm so excited. I've got my Biltmore season pass. I've got my planner. Now I gotta sit down and figure out what I'm going to do at Biltmore in 2022. Psst. Hey, you, yeah, Christy. Yeah, you don't need to go to Biltmore again. You went to Biltmore so many times last year. What else is there possibly left to see? I mean, once you go one time, is there anything else really new to see? Oh, silly. Of course there's tons to do at Biltmore. As a matter of fact, Christy still hasn't done everything that there is to do. You need to take a look and see everything she did this year. Silly. You know what? I did do a ton of fun things at Biltmore this year. I'm going to show you my top 10 highlights at Biltmore Estates in 2021. Let's go. And let me know in the comments your favorite highlights and what videos you'd like to see this coming year. Let's hop right into it. Number 10 is the Garden Railway Train Exhibit. While this train exhibit, constructed out of all natural elements like bark, twigs, and vines, was brought to Biltmore in the summer 2019, I enjoyed its continued transformation in 2021. I saw it first exhibited in Antler Hill Village, and then it moved to the conservatory, and I enjoyed watching the layout change with the seasons. Here's a fun fact. This exhibit was part of the 2018 Smithsonian Botanical Garden Exhibit, which was rated as one of the top attractions to see in Washington, D.C. Coming in as my number 9 highlight is that Biltmore taught me that collard greens are actually yummy. I know, this one surprised me too. Honestly, I've never been a fan of collard greens, and I never thought I would be.
Oh, I know, this looks amazing.
Didn't even occur to me that Biltmore Estate would be the place to change my mind, and yet, here we are. Biltmore is famous for its farm-to-table food, and they do a great job of it. This past year, the Stable Cafe taught me that collard greens are delicious. And I don't know what they do to prepare that stringy green stuff. It makes it taste good. It makes me look forward to having it again and again and again whenever I go back. I don't know what it is they do, but whatever it is, I like it. Highlight number 8 is the stories that I learned from the trolley drivers. Biltmore has a rich history that you'll learn from guided tours, books, and other exhibits in Antler Hill Village and the Biltmore House. But what I really enjoyed this year was the stories shared by the trolley drivers that drove me from the parking lot to the Biltmore House. Even though the trolley is a free service, the drivers are really well versed in Biltmore history, and I've learned equally interesting facts from them as I have from the guided tours. The trolley ride is where I learned that the Garden Railway exhibit was in the Smithsonian.
It was here about a year and a half ago, and it was great. So they used all the natural materials, do the trestles and bridges and stuff. I thought it was real good. It was so good it went to the Smithsonian. It was displayed there for quite a while.
Facts about George and Edith Vanderbilt, the property and the struggles that Edith endured after George's death, and also some fun facts like some of the movies that were filmed there, like Richie Rich and My Fellow Americans.
Macaulay Culkin and Richie Rich, followed by My Fellow Americans with James Garner, Dan Aykroyd, and Jack Lemmon.
The spring blooms are my next highlight on the list. I don't care how many years in a row I see the spring blooms at Biltmore. They're breathtaking, and there's always something new to see. Depending on what time of the spring you visit, you'll see different plants in bloom and in different stages. You could literally visit every week during the spring, and it's going to look like an entirely different place each time. You can check out Biltmore's website for an updated bloom report this spring at biltmore.com. The Stickworks exhibit was another major highlight of this past year. This large-scale outdoor sculpture entitled Free as a Bird made its appearance in April of 2021, and it's going to stick around until January 9th of 2022. Patrick Doherty poured his carpentry skills and love of nature into over 300 of these works in the last 3 decades. He's an internationally acclaimed artist, and he's captivated the hearts and imaginations of people worldwide. And this Free as a Bird exhibit is unique to Biltmore, and you're not going to find it anywhere else. And it's been so fun to watch its metamorphosis throughout the seasons. Highlight number 5 is all about the new restaurants that I tried at Biltmore this year. In 2021, I decided I needed to familiarize myself with the other restaurants, especially those in Antler Hill Village. The first is the Creamery. This is a great little spot for pastry, cookies, ice cream, or to grab a refreshing drink. Just looking at this footage makes my mouth water. Next, enjoy Global Pub Fare at Cedric's, which is an open-table, Diner's Choice award-winning restaurant. For lunch, they offer dishes such as fish and chips, shepherd's pie, and burgers. Dinner highlights Chef Powell's updates on classic English pub fare like steak, chicken breast, pork chops, burgers, and salmon. You can enjoy some local music at the bar, and they have some seasonal outdoor dining too. While they do allow walk-ins, I suggest making reservations. This is a popular spot, and the wait can be quite long if you don't call in ahead. The Smokehouse food truck is a great grab-and-go option served from a vintage truck. They serve Carolina barbecue and other southern favorites that will not disappoint. Choose from pulled pork, chicken, or brisket. Add on some hush puppies, coleslaw, or some aged white cheddar mac and cheese with your choice of Eastern North Carolina vinegar sauce, South Carolina mustard sauce, or a smoky tomato sauce. The brisket was moist and perfect. I could have eaten it without any sauce whatsoever. It was delicious on its own. And the mac and cheese was outstanding. I highly recommend. $4 off my order for being an annual pass holder. Gotta love that. The Vanderbilt's at Home and Abroad exhibition is located in Antler Hill Village, and it offers you a great opportunity to view the treasures from the Biltmore collection that gives you a little sneak peek into what their lifestyle and journeys were like. Some of my favorite displays included clothing owned and worn by Edith Vanderbilt, like her mermaid party dress made from cotton, silk, and metal fabrics. Just imagine being at that party. This is a great place to visit if you want to know a little bit more about the Vanderbilt history, or maybe just like to have something else to do on a rainy day, or it's a good place to browse around while you're waiting for your reservations at one of the Antler Hill Village restaurants. The extra good news is that there's no additional cost to see this exhibit. Access to this exhibit is included with your Biltmore daytime admission. Discovering the beauty of the lagoon was truly one of the highlights of this past year. Although I've rode past the lagoon many times, I've seen the sign for it, I never really stopped to see what it was all about until this past year. It's a beautiful, peaceful spot where you can row a boat, ride bikes, go horseback riding, take a carriage ride. You can see some wildlife, have a picnic, go fishing. It's an absolutely gorgeous spot to watch the sunset. It's truly one of the most beautiful views of the Biltmore house that you could possibly get from the distance as well. The lagoon is a spot that makes having an annual pass worth the while, so that you can see how it changes with the seasons. I got to see it in the beautiful leafy summer. I got to see it in late fall, so there was still a little bit of color, but it was mostly bare. So I plan on coming back to see the spot again in the spring, to see the gorgeous spring blooms, and I definitely want to come earlier back in the fall so I can see the beauty of the fall foliage in 2022. A rooftop tour is always a highlight. I want to see this tour in every season. Yeah, I went on this tour last year and I loved it, but it was a little later in the winter season, so the view of the grounds was more barren, which is fine. It was still beautiful, very worth it to take the tour that time of year. But this year I wanted to go back a little bit earlier so I could see more of the fall foliage, but I want to come back and take this tour in the spring to see the colorful, full spring blooms from the rooftops, and I want to see the summer full trees from the grounds. And I'd like to come back even earlier for even a better, more colorful leaf display in the fall. Yet another reason why I love my season pass. I can come back again and again and again, and I get a discount as a pass holder. And not to mention, when you take this tour, it allows you to see parts of the house and hear stories that you're not going to get to see with just a regular house tour. It's fabulous. And now, finally, for my #1 highlight of the year, the carriage ride. This comes in at #1 because I've waited so long to finally be able to go on a carriage ride. To be able to take carriage ride, it's highly dependent on the weather and availability. It's super important to make sure that you make reservations ahead of time, and even if you do, if the weather is bad, they're going to cancel it. So it's never worked out before, but this year I finally got my shot. And I can tell you, whether you've been to Biltmore 1,000 times or if this is your first time, a carriage ride is a really great idea. You'll experience views of the estate that you can't see anywhere else. The guides are fun, and they're also a wealth of information. They have even more great stories about the Vanderbilt family, the grounds, the stories behind how the estate came to be.
We see that well at night, and the deer can't. So the deer and the horse actually buddy up and pair up and just walk around, and they're actually protected.
Well, there you have it. My top 10 highlights at Biltmore in 2021. Now I want to ask you, what type of videos would you like to see about Biltmore in 2022? I'd love to know. Are you more interested in seeing some of the hotel tours and reviews? Would you like more restaurant reviews? Would you like an insider look at the different tours and activities? Would you like more information on Vanderbilt house history? Would you like more information and videos on the events and exhibitions that are coming up in 2022? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to be able to create more videos based on exactly what you would like to see. And also, I just set up a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you appreciate and have enjoyed any of my videos and would like to give me a tour guide tip, it would be very much appreciated. And I just set up the account so you can be one of my very first supporters. There's a lot of expenses involved in order to travel to locations, and I'd also love to update some of my equipment so that I can bring you some of the best videos possible. Your support will help me accomplish these goals. But even if you can't contribute financially, you can always watch the ads and the videos and leave comments, subscribe, and give a great big thumbs up. Those are always great ways to help this channel out as well. I want to thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate you, and happy travels.
Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.